I'm yet to believe that any politician really wants to clean up this business, because it's what gets them into power. And if they try and clean it up, the very people who put them into power will take them out of power rather than have the industry cleared up. So it's quite a high stakes game. And that's why, again, that's why I write books about it, is to try and get people in the general public, at least, more aware of what is sort of, at least I do it through fiction, but more aware of what's actually going on, so that they feel furnished to ask their members of parliament what they are or have been failing to do, and to come up with some decent answers.
Well, when you see something so discrediting as Partygate get rolled out, do you sometimes scratch your head and wonder whether there are some strategic communications people behind that? Because it did seem as if it was over several weeks, a very concerted campaign on all platforms, really, and strategically spaced releases of photographs, documents, information. Is that the sort of thing that a really good strategic communications person, maybe not an ethical one, can unseat a prime minister, for example?
Oh, 100%. And not just do I believe that. I mean, I've gone on the record and said it. If you go onto my LinkedIn at the moment, you'll see I actually have up there a post which I wrote as it was happening, saying, I can see the fingerprints of a strategic communications company here, and this is what will happen next over the next few days and weeks. And I went on the radio and actually predicted what would happen the next week, including Sue Gray handing in her report, what would be said by the Prime Minister, where the Prime Minister would fly to. He would have pictures of himself with tanks. Then Liz Truss. I mean, you can literally see that in the public domain, me predicting the step-by-step of at least, I think, 7 or 8 days. And it's exactly what happened. It literally is exactly what happened. I mean, MPs, I was literally giving quotation marks saying, this is what MPs will say. And they were going onto the television and radio stations and saying this, and it was predicted before. So it's not rocket science. I mean, a lot of people out there are trained to do these techniques. It's not, I'm some sort of Jedi mind tricks expert. There are a lot of people who could have predicted that. Sadly, the cynicism, I think, that's happening amongst the voters is they feel rightly that pretty much everything they're hearing has gone through the lens of a Dominic Cummings or an equivalent. And I have a very, very big problem with the ethics and morals of many of the people working in this unregulated industry. We need regulation, we need laws, we need accountability, we need transparency, we need to know the names of some of these people, and we need to be able to hold them to account. And if it is demonstrated they've been using untoward behavioural techniques on the population, which I think is against the Geneva Convention, or if it is the case that some of the reservists who were actively serving in information operations were overextending their reach when they were working in the Cabinet Office during COVID, I think people have to know this, and there have to be people held to account. We cannot continue with such a powerful weapon system. This is a weapons grade information operations capability that must not be used in the civilian space in an unregulated and sort of opaque manner.